What's good? It's your boy Whispy Woodz. Today, guys, we're gonna take a good look at Franklin's Easter egg and kind of the entirety of what I personally think is a big part of what Rockstar is trying to show us. Now, again, before I get into this video, you guys, I want the judgmental people to understand, all right, if they can, that this video in particular is a theory, and that I'm making several certain theories before I make my grand steps to ignite those theories and possibly see if they work. This video is just to pertain to the real jetpack hunters out there and how they perceive the mystery, and if there's any correlation with what I'm saying and what could possibly be going on now. I want you guys to kind of clear your mind, okay? Just like every single one of my videos. Now, that being said, I want you to understand where we are, which is it's one of the most significant places as far as the glyph and the wow signal is relevant. And today, the video isn't necessarily derived towards the glyph, but I find it ironic that they put the wow signal right by this water tank. Now, about this small rundown water tank, I want you to pay attention to one solid thing, and that are the colors. That being red, gold, and green. Now, throughout the video, I'm going to show you the relevancy of why these colors are even in the game. And if you've never known why, you will understand by the end of this video. So just stick with me and understand that Franklin and the Space Docker and these three colors are closely tied to each other in some way or some fashion. Let me know what you think. I want you guys to understand why this karma is a chameleon sign is right here, or at least we're going to try and understand the actual relevance, okay? And I think there's a big reason, like inside and out, why they underlined karma, okay? And it's for three reasons. One, to reference something that is in GTA past. Two, to reference something that is the meaning to something that we are trying to obtain. Three, another reference is towards something completely different that is for the understanding of the game. And I know that I've probably lost a few of you by now, but so has the Epsilon tract. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys is the chameleon. Possibly a car you guys have seen before. Now, one thing I want to point out about this car is that it's an online exclusive car. And no, it doesn't necessarily, the car itself, have to do with an actual jetpack, okay? I'm not saying the car is going to get us a jetpack. What I'm saying is that chameleon is a reference toward a song, and they hid this very well. One thing you'll notice is that this car was only for the people who bought the collector's edition when it first came out. Now, understand that this car is a remake of another car in GTA's history. And it's a remake being based off of the Fisker Karma. Now, understand the Fisker Karma mixed with Karma and Chameleon is a reference to the 1983 song from Culture Club, and it's called Karma Chameleon. Now, if you've never heard the lyrics of Karma Chameleon, it is, if your colors were like my dreams, red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. And one thing I want you guys to understand is that a big part of it in general is the colors, okay? And I want you to understand red, gold, and green are not only colors that have been all over GTA 5, but red, gold, and green are tied to Back to the Future, and they're also tied to a big part of GTA's history of their not their HD era, but their 3D era, meaning GTA 3 and GTA San Andreas and so on. Not so much Vice City or the others, but a lot of the core games used a big template of these colors and made their colors significant. This is the Back to the Future time display. And a big part of why I'm showing you this, aside from the obvious, which is what I was just talking about, the colors being red, gold, and green, understand that I'm not just making this tightly wound reference to Back to the Future or time travel simply because of a song. Understand that I'm making this reference based on things that I've researched that have to do with not only the song or time travel, but also GTA, the past GTA, and GTA's folklore within its template, okay? Because understand, like I said in the previous video, the template of GTA was created in GTA 2. That is the template that has set the example for most GTAs in the series, 9 to be exact. Now, understand and pay attention to these colors, red, gold, and green, okay? Because aside from them referencing them several hundreds of times in the GTA 5 world, but it's also closely tied to things that we have seen in GTA before. And if you haven't seen them before, I'm going to show, which is GTA San Andreas. And what do you see? What do you see, you guys? Red, gold, and green. Understand that that is too close to be a coincidence, okay, to the exact colors that are on the DeLorean. They're in the exact same places, you guys. Now, if this wasn't a confirm of time travel, then Lester's house was too. I want you to understand the ties, though, to this and why it's even relevant in GTA, because it's not just a mod, okay? It's not just based on the mod. A big part of it is driven through the community's want for the mod and GTA's folklore. And I'm going to prove that karma, okay, and what happiness represents is not only tied to Franklin, but it's tied to Easter eggs in general, and it's tied to GTA's folklore and things they've done in the past, okay? Understand that karma is a big part of things that we've seen in GTA before, way before this mystery. Whether it's karma, sun, or other things that have shown itself into the mystery, okay? The sun is not the first time we've ever seen this in GTA 5. The sun has been referenced in plenty other GTAs, but are they significant? That is my question to you, okay? Because the fact that the sun is so derived around suns, sun rays, sunbeams, that, you know, we have too many coincidences in the altruist camp. Now, one thing I want to make kind of semi-clear is that this I/sun representation, to me, I believe is representing Michael, okay? But that does not necessarily mean that the clues that are represented as the sun in the altruist camp are not several different clues compiled into one, okay? Because I'm working on a personal theory now that I believe is that the altruist camp shows us several different times of the sun for different people. Now, I'm not necessarily confirming that yet. I'm just putting it out there that they have 3 different suns, as I've confirmed before, and that they show 3 different suns at this hippie camp regardless. They do. Okay, if you've never been there, you should go see it yourself. Now, one thing I want to talk about, though, before I show you the next thing, is that why would they depict the sun, right? Like right here and right here. Obvious suns. And then they show sunflowers, you guys. Like, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems a little bit much to show suns and then something representing a sun. It's redundant. We get it. They're suns and they are odd. You know, I mean, did we really need sunflowers here to tell us anything about the sun? No, right? I mean, what's said is already in the hippie camp, whether it said he is risen or sun god or these several thousand suns throughout the hippie camp. So why would they show a smaller reference to the sun like sunflowers? I think I have the reason. Now, as you see, we're looking at here Krishna, which is one of GTA 2's most famous gangs, and a lot of what they were known for were being kind of a joke in GTA 1. Alright, and this is just an example of what I mean when I say that basically every GTA, for a fact, references something significant with another GTA, and they've been doing this since the beginning. Now, again, I don't necessarily think that this is the Easter egg, you guys, but I do think that this is part of why they referenced it in the first place. Here, Krishna is not only one of the leading gangs that you actually interact with in GTA 2 as Speed Claude, but there are a few things that are referenced in GTA 5 that are somewhat related to not only what we've been looking for, but to things that we've seen around the game. And I'm going to point out a few of those things without going too much into detail on the gang itself, because I don't necessarily feel the gang is what we're supposed to be paying attention to. I feel as though it's just the certain references so we can understand the significance. Now, that being said, I want you to take a look at the obvious, which is the flower. And my first question is, why would they depict a flower next to a sun if the flower itself was supposed to be a reference towards the sun? I mean, I know it sounds confusing, but think about it. If you're trying to show someone that the sun is relevant and you're not trying to do it in a very out there way, you're going to show a sunflower. But why would they add a sun next to a sunflower? Aside from the flower aspect, I want you to understand that their leader is named Sunbeam, which is just something relevant throughout the game that we've noticed several times and time again, that, you know, suns and different phases of the sun show different beams, and different people have different beams. Now, aside from that, another thing that you'll notice is that the gang's only vehicle is the Karma bus. The Karma bus. And I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, well, what does this necessarily have to do with anything? Now, understand Garanja. Alright? This is something that has been part of GTA since the beginning. It's an achievement you get from doing a certain amount of kills to certain people. And the thing is, that's interesting, is that Garanja, alright, not only was it a cheat code for the bonus that you get for obtaining the achievement, but it's actually often used to describe happiness. Happiness. Alright, now if you've never seen this, I believe it's not only correlated, but it's interesting that they actually have happiness written in the exact same color as Karma is a chameleon. Alright, and if you didn't catch the color, you can rewind the video, but they're written in the exact same color, and throughout the game, even on the water tanks, you guys, that it's written in yellow. Happiness. Now, is it a coincidence that the same thing that is Karma is a chameleon is related to happiness, and happiness is also another word for guarana? Is this tied to something that they've not necessarily done before, but that they've referenced in the GTA folklore? Now, if it is, then it only proves that our process is slowly but surely working, that we can uncover new things about this game. Stick with me, you guys, and we will uncover new truths every day, and things that, honestly, I don't think Rockstar ever thought we would understand. But we need to prove them wrong, you guys. We need to prove them that we're smart enough. That's all it really is based on. Thank you, guys. Spread the truth.